now. That whole time I was talking and you couldn't hear me. That explains a lot why I wasn't getting any responses in the chat for what I was saying. I'm sorry, guys. Well, please let me know if you can hear me now. I think I fixed it. Otherwise, I will say what I said again for the ones that couldn't hear me. We're going to be doing day 2 of the journaling prompt, and then I'm going to be showing you a hip mobility stretch that my trainer has showed me that I need to be doing more often because I have really tight hips. Let me put. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for catching that for me. Technical difficulties early in the morning. All right, so look at this. We have transitions. Look how cool this is. So, this is our day 2 choosing self kindness over self judgment journaling prompt. Good morning, Trish. How are you? I asked, okay, so the first thing I asked was, how's everyone doing this morning? Is it easy to wake up? Is it difficult to wake up? Are we still in bed? That's okay. It's okay. I don't judge you. I still want to be in bed. It's not good audio. Okay, let me see if I can readjust my mic. I have a weird setting on here that I don't know how to fix of my on my mic. That it like levels out the audio. So let me know if that's any better. Thank you for being here in this testing phase of me discovering how to be a live streamer, since apparently it is very difficult. I wonder if I can just go to. I have this super fancy, like, recording mic, but I think we're just gonna go to the normal webcam mic just to get make sure that you guys can hear me properly. Let me know if that is any better. Trish, you're doing good. How was your Memorial Day holiday? Hope you had oodles of fun. Oh gosh, we relaxed. I really didn't do much. We went to Belmont Park down here. I had a little girls' day trip. We walked around. They had like a spring festival, so they had a bunch of art decorations and installations. We hung out and just caught up. We got the house clean. And then we made s'mores yesterday, and that was it. It was just an enjoyable day of being able to catch up. Thank you for asking how you are. You have not been asked that in a very long time. I'm glad that I could help that because I love knowing about how other people are doing. Genuinely, I want to know everything. And this is kind of the point of this, to have a community where we all care about each other and discuss and talk and get that feeling of like conversation that we crave so much. All right, let's jump into our journaling prompt. Do we all have our journals and pens with us? You can also do this in the notes section of your phone. Dozer is going to do it with his butt. Thanks, Dozer. Little Buddy Boy is famous on the internet right now. The video that I posted of Grant carrying him into the bedroom got like 1 million views on TikTok, and everyone is talking about his Grinch toes. I'll show you. Let's show him your Grinch toes. You're famous for them. Oh boy. His little Grinch toes. That's what people are calling him, and I love it. I love it. Here, go down there, buddy. It's finally warm in Colorado. Okay, what's the like peak high in the summer for Colorado? Does it get like hot, or does it get like 80s, 90s? I've been to Colorado once, but it was like 10 years ago and I don't remember. But Colorado is beautiful, but I don't know because of the elevation if it gets like super hot because of that or if it stays kind of relatively cool. Of course, Dozer's back. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's jump into this. Self-kindness can take many different forms. It may mean talking positively to ourselves or having loving feelings about ourselves. We are Here are some ways you can practice self-kindness. And I know for me personally, I have a really hard time talking positively or like turning this switch of like feeling good about myself, mainly because I think it's kind of cheesy. And I had that problem a lot in the beginning when I was going through this, where I was like, this doesn't feel genuine to say. Like, I am enough, I am worthy, I deserve to be happy. I can say those things, but unless you truly believe them or start putting them into practice, and like that self-doubt is still in the back of your head. So I would like anybody, as we're going through this, just recognize that if you have that, and try to do something, try to do an action that reinforces what you're saying. Because if you're just saying it and you don't believe it and it's cheesy to you, then it's not going to work and it's not going to help. We're not going to get anywhere progressively. But if you're doing things that will reinforce what you're saying down the line, it helps make it a truer statement. And then you can recognize, like, okay, I said this and this is what I'm doing to believe this. So encourage kind thoughts. Are there small goals? Don't eat my pen. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. Are there small goals you have achieved that you can celebrate? Oh, see, exactly this. Look, I was getting ahead of myself. Can you respect a tough decision you made? Use the space below to celebrate your strengths. Embrace kind feelings. Can you forgive yourself for a past mistake? Can you show yourself understanding or for an expectation you didn't meet? Remind yourself, I am enough, I am worthy, I deserve to be happy. It's really difficult to look back and not think of a mistake as something that we should remember because we don't want to do it again. But you can remind yourself that just because you made the mistake doesn't mean that it's a definition of who you are. And if you did make the mistake, remind yourself that you're only doing the best that you can with what you were given at that time. So now that you know that it was a mistake, in the future, you know better, you know different. But when you did it originally, you didn't know better, you didn't know different. Now we can take a few minutes here. I'll stop talking and we can actually journal. All right, we will give you a couple more minutes to wrap up your thoughts on this one. You can always come back to it after we end here, or just pause right now and finish whatever thoughts you've got going. If you feel like you're really getting into it and diving into something deep, keep going. And Trish, I have been to Balboa Park and I have eaten at Prado. I've eaten, I think, at all of the restaurants there now. I absolutely love Balboa Park. I used to go there every single week because that's where my rugby team practiced. So, yes, very familiar with Balboa Park. Absolutely love it. It is so much fun. All right, I'm going to take this down. Look at me, transitions. Woo! I'm learning things. I'm so excited. I've discovered that I could change between two different like scenes and have them transition. I could have the picture up on the screen earlier this week, and it made me way more excited than it should have. Let's just say that. How does everybody feel about these journaling prompts as we're going through them? We feel good about them. Is it tapping into something that you've never experienced before? Is it tapping into something you've already experienced before? Let me know. I want to know if the prompts are good enough to keep going with them and we're invested, or if we should switch gears into something else. In the meantime, let me figure out how I can show you this stretch by changing my camera angle. We're gonna have to go. I'll pull the camera down here. How about that? Oop, oop, oop. Gonna move the chair out of the way. All right, and this is my floor. Congratulations. Dozer, I'm surprised you don't want to come sit with me on the floor. I gotta get my yoga mat. Oh, did you break this? Dozer broke his toy. Okay. All right. So, this is a really good stretch for really tight hips and working into those muscles. So what you're going to do, you're going to lay on the floor. Let me scoot up a little bit. Lay on the floor on your back. Now, whatever leg we lift, the other one, you're going to push it down and a little bit out, as if someone had their palm on your thigh and was pushing it down and out. So you're really going to focus on the leg that's on the ground and the stretch that you're getting right here. The other leg, you can bring it up and hold like this. So really the stretch is happening in this leg right here. So if you don't feel this, make sure you're pushing down and a little bit out on this leg on the ground. And again, I'm not wearing yoga clothes to do this, so you can do this in jeans. Hi Dozer, would you also like to stretch? We can sew the mirror stretch afterwards. Kitty cat yoga. And then we're gonna switch sides. Just kicked you, buddy. We're gonna switch sides. Again, making sure that you're visualizing someone pushing down and out with their palm on your thigh, and then stretch. And then right here is where you want to feel that stretch happening. Okay, Boba. Let's show them your yoga. Come on, come here. And now kitty yoga time. Shoop. Come here. Ready? We used to do this every night before bedtime. Stretch. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, stretch the back legs. Stretch the back legs. You gotta stretch your back legs. You gotta stretch both of them. Sir, stretch. Stretch. Come on, buddy. All right, we did it. All the stretching. Don't do that. That's my expensive yoga mat. Kermit fell. Kermit had a too hard of a party this weekend. I need to pick him back up. He also wants to do yoga. Get up here, buddy. All right. What love journaling with me. Save space for your emotions. Feel free to express yourself. Perfect. Excellent. Love that. That is the exact goal and intention, so I am so happy that it is translating that way. Yes, Dozer is a gorgeous cat, and he knows it. Let's just put that one out there. He definitely knows how pretty he is. You had one just like him. That's what I'm finding is he is a very common like tuxedo cat, and apparently people on the internet love him because he looks a lot like a cat that they've had in their past life. Everyone's had a cute little tuxedo cat. Isn't that right, Dozer? Are all tuxedo cats this attentive? Hi, buddy. Okay, it is 7:22. We've got 8 more minutes. I think what I'm going to do is set up my bullet journal for the week because I didn't get a chance to do that yesterday because we had the day off. So if any of you would like to set up your bullet journals with me, I did a whole video on this of how to bullet journal and what bullet journaling is and why it's helpful for someone with ADHD. And if any of you watched that and have tried bullet journaling, I'm sure you've experienced the change that it can have with how you organize your thoughts and your day. So people with ADHD have issues with, what is that called? Executive function and also object permanence. So the bullet journal helps with both of those things by giving you a tangible book to kind of to reset to default to if you're forgetting what you need to do or the order of what needs to happen. So it lets you organize and categorize your thoughts in a place that's not jumbled up in your brain, and so you don't have to remember them all. So that's bullet journaling in a nutshell. But I can show you guys how I set up my weekly spread so that if anybody else would like to do it, and you don't need to set up an entire bullet journal to do a set like this. That's the best part. Let me see if we can get that to stay. Oh, stay. Don't focus on that. Don't focus on that. Focus on Dozer. It's the problem with fancy equipment. It never wants to work the way I need it to. There we go. You stay right there. So, as I was saying, the cool part about bullet journaling is you don't need an entire journal to be set up to be able to do this. You could just take a sheet of paper and use this as like your guide for the week. And I've done that before too. If I'm doing like a meal plan or I have something that I'm packing for, this method is very helpful just in general. So I'll show you guys how I set up my week. And if you're wondering, these pens are midliner highlighting pens, and they're amazing. Excuse you. I already feel more awake now. This is great. This is such a great start to the day. I love this. Oh, oops. I also have noticed that I love being able to talk and connect with people, and I don't get to do that often. And doing that at the start of the day without it being tied to work, or I have to be productive, I have to do something, that sucks. And this is more of a like casual environment, and I personally like it. So if anybody else likes this and we want to keep doing it, let me know. Monday was the 29th. Ooh, and I get to show you guys a sneak peek of the upcoming thing that I'm going to film. There are 31 days this month, right? Thursday is the 1st. How did we get here? I did not leave any space for me for Sunday, but that's okay. So, if you saw my video, you saw this weekly spread, and you can't see anything because of how bright the light is. That's not helpful. There we go. Is that better? Not really. Focus. Okay, so I label my week, my day of the week, down on this side, and I have a breakdown of if there's anything specifically coming up that I need to do on the weekday. So appointments, I have an appointment today with my dentist that I need to go do. We're going to dinner with a friend on Friday, and then I think Thursday I have something. I have another live on Thursday, I think, for a listing party, and then Friday I have a whatnot sale. I need to look. But then on this side, I break down the habits that I'm tracking. And I'll show you the little bubble system that I use for that. So this is the bubble system that I just mark it off the days that I have done it. So I keep track of what days I meditate, what days I journal, what days I read, and what days I work out. And you can put anything here. Sometimes I track if I'm working on a crochet project, or if I am watching a lot of TV, or I don't want to do that thing. So you can use it for negative or like the reverse tracking as well. I do a lot of like no spend. So if I'm trying to save that month, I'll do a no spend category and track how many days that I go out and buy something that's not food, groceries, or the regular essentials. So right now, I'm just gonna do the basics of meditate, journal, read, and work out. The other thing I really like about this setup is I have a to-do and a next week section. I don't know if you can see that. Focus. So the next week section is actually really helpful because it lets me plan for everything that's going to come up next week that I don't actually need to think about right now. But it needs to be on the radar because next week is not that far away. And Lord knows I always forget what's going to happen. Like on Friday, things start coming up and I'm like, oh shoot, that's happening in 3 days. So the next week is really helpful for me. The to-do, I like it because you can't put a ton of stuff here. So like last week, I tried to overload myself and I was like, okay, here's all the things I need to do. That's my IRS confirmation number. You don't need to see that. But so I tried to overload myself, and this was my limit. This was the available space I had for scheduling things for myself to do. And this lets me kind of limit the amount of things I have to get done so I don't overload myself. So that's a little trick for that. All right, we have done it. It is 7:30. Oh my gosh. I am making you all dizzy with my camera. And now I'm going to show you this giant box that I got that I'm going to be unboxing on one of my next videos. It'll be a little bit before this video comes out, but I'm super excited about it. It's going to be fun. There's a lot in there. Where'd my coffee go? There it is. Empowering others to feel good is important. The world can use more kindness. Absolutely. I 1000% agree with that. And that is why I am continuing these lives. Feel free to share them with your friends that you feel also want to come and hang out in the morning and journal and get some prompts. They can always go back and catch up with the 2 last prompts as well to get up to speed with where we are now. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for working through my audio issues with me. I will see you guys next week. Have a great